What type of phone would I use if I wanted to make a call and make it extremely difficult for somebody to listen in on me or trace me? I'm gonna tell you right now, it's probably not what you think. So a reader asked me and said, hey, if I'm just a quote unquote normal person, it's not like I work for the government and have some super fancy encrypted phone. I just wanna buy something off the shelf and I wanna make sure, as much to the extent as possible, that I'm not being tracked, I'm not being listened to. Like, what would you do? I have a very simple answer for you. I'm gonna tell you right now. Would I use a fancy smartphone? Again, I'm not talking about using any kind of encrypted app. I'm talking about a phone simply to make a call. No, I would not use a smartphone. Just way too easy to track, trace. Government's gonna be all over this, so this would not be my choice whatsoever. If I was in some crazy situation and I needed to be 99% sure that nobody was listening to my conversation, it would absolutely not be a smartphone. Now, something you may or may not know about me is I'm a former CI officer and I use a flip phone. I'm gonna show you my flip phone right now. And I've also never sent a text message in my entire life. Yes, that's true. Never sent a text message, never plan to. All right, so here is my flip phone right here. Again, this is my flip phone, never sent a text message. If I had to make a super duper secure call, if I was not using any kind of encryption, any kind of apps or whatever, just a regular phone, I also would not use my trusty flip phone. Okay, so that's out of the way. If I can't use my flip phone, if I can't use my smartphone, what phone am I gonna use? Well, wait, here we go. This right here is my satellite phone. If I wanted to make sure, I would use a satellite phone. Yes, everything, pretty much almost everything can be traced. However, if, I'm trying to think how I could say this without getting out of trouble, I would hunker a guess, I would bet that if the government was trying to listen to your calls, maybe you were somebody who was bad and you had a satellite phone, they would have a very hard time and might not be able to. Maybe they even tried and it was such a hard time. So if you were a bad person, again, this is just me throwing out a guesstimate, right? What do I know? They would have no problem instantly going to this. They'd have no problem instantly going to even my trusty flip phone, but it would be very difficult for them to ever listen on calls to your satellite phone. Again, just a thought. So how to use the satellite phone? If you're gonna make calls, don't do anything illegal. Well, it's super easy. One, you gotta be outside. Yes, I've had people be like, hey, I'm inside now trying to use my satellite phone. You have to be outside. It needs a clear view of the sky. So I'm outside today. I'm not covered. We got little trees in the back, but not where I'm at right now. Next. Make sure your antenna's up and then it's pointed up at the sky. If you're trying to make a phone call like this, I don't know why you would be, then guess what? It ain't gonna work. So you've gotta have your phone, you gotta have the antenna up, it's gotta be pointing in the sky. And next, everybody thinks it's so confusing, like there's some like, how do I use a satellite phone? Do I need to program some super ninja code and press 75 buttons? No, you dial 1 plus the phone number you're trying to call. So whatever country code you're in, for the United States, the country code is 1. So if I'm trying to call my wife, and I'm not gonna give you a real number, I dial 1-435-555-5555. I put it up to my ear, I talk. It is that easy to use a satellite phone. So yes, the government spies on you way more than you could ever imagine. It is super easy. If you're gonna do things, again, not illegal things, but you want total privacy, I would use a satellite phone. I would not use any of these. Plus, because we live in a crazy world and because there's natural disasters and all that, I like having a satellite phone because when the when the cell phone towers are down, my satellite phone still works. If you wanna know where I got my satellite phone, I go to spysatphone.com. Check out their website. It's where I get all my stuff, like my satellite phone, my Starlink, all that. Again, spysatphone.com. But now you know better how to protect your privacy and how to make sure the government is not listening to you. I'm former CI officer Jason Hanson. Have a wonderful rest of your day.